Welcome to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Now, yesterday we worked on some falling animation, which actually this stairway here should actually be like a pit. And then we made a little animation here to fall down the pit. So it starts like normal and then he falls down. So we got that made yesterday. So today, I think I'm going to try to get it actually triggering in-game. So we'll take a look at how we might do that. So I think we only need this 11 frames. I don't think we need an empty frame necessarily, but we might need it. Yeah, let's just say it's 10 frames. So I think the first step is to put these 10 in a sprite sheet. So I think we can do something like export sprite sheet by rows. Actually, yeah, by horizontal strip here. We can make sure we are a 16 by 16. Perfect. So there's our little sprite sheet of him falling. So let's go ahead and export this. We'll export it as a PNG. And we'll put it in our graphics folder and it'll be called falling sheet. Okay. So we've got to give our game access to this falling sheet PNG. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm in a terminal. Go. So if we go check out our constants, which I thought I had saved here, but I don't. Constants. No, it's in our dependencies actually. Yeah, right here. So we need to install the drawable as a... Is my camera bugging out? We need to import the falling sprite as a drawable. So we will go ahead and do that. It does need its own texture and it needs its own frame. That's okay though. So we're gonna say, you know what? It's gonna go right under character walk and it's gonna be called character falling. And it is a love.graphics new image in our graphics folder. And it is called falling sheet. Did we really crash? I'm super frustrated with my setup. My computer CPU bracket is not shipped, so I still am without my main computer. And then I can't plug in Ethernet on my laptop here, so we're streaming at lower resolution and we're still crashing, so it's just kind of frustrating. I want to say it's called falling sheet like that. We can double check. We'll duplicate this. We'll move this into documents instead. We'll get it out of our GitHub. But it is falling-sheet.png, so it looks like it is in there. And then we'll need to make a quad out of it. So we'll call it the same thing. Character fall, generate quads of that texture we just made, and the quad size is a 16 by 16 to match our tile size here. Sweet. Okay, so now I think we need a different state for our player so that we can trigger these animations. So let's take a look at our player class and see how we might do that. We don't really have, you know what? It might be under animations. We made a animation class to kind of hold this stuff. And you know what? I'm gonna split. Actually, I'm gonna make a new window, and this will be called project. Just want to have this open so that we can access anything we might need over here. So, like that. Okay. So all animation does is handle the current frame and the whatever. So it looks like in our entity defs we might have the animations here for the player, and this is looking right. So let's add another animation here. The animation is going to be stored in the character, or we can call it falling. And it does take in the texture of the character fall. It does take an interval, and then its frames are, it was what, 10 frames? So one, I want to say it was 10 frames. Let's see if we can count how many frames it was. Oh, it's teeny tiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, 10 frames. So we'll do frames 1 through 10, interval, and then it is called falling. So let's see if we manually change our animation to falling animation. Let's see if it changes that. So we start, and you know what? We have a state, change state to player idle. Now, I think the state is different than our animations, but I'm not exactly seeing where we define these states. So player idle right here. Okay, so yeah, we might want to make a new state machine, or maybe not. Maybe all we do is change the animations if we trigger a fall. So let's try to just change the animation from idle to player fall, and then we'll see if we can set up a little trigger for it, and then we can work on collision detection for the hole so that we can trigger the animation based on falling in the hole. So let's see. Let's go to our play state. I'm basically wanting to see, well, it might be in our player class, and it might be the first thing we do. I'm looking for the change animation. It might be animations like this. Okay, well, we define it there, so our player should have that. But I'm looking for where our player's animation is set. So okay, so a little stumped how to change animation at the moment. We've got I want to say it's in our player walk state. Change animation and then to what change. Okay, so let's go to our player idle state, and what we'll do is just say, you know what, we're actually just gonna go into our entity, and we're gonna say that the current animation, actually the dot animations, this isn't quite right. I think it's player dot animations refresh. Let's take a look at our walk state again. We're doing this change animation. So we run this change animation, then we give it which name of the change animation we want. So let's go back to our player idle state, and we're going to say self.entity, and we're going to say change animation, and we're going to change it to the falling animation. And I don't know if it's on a loop. I would think it would loop, but let's see. Gosh, it worked. So it looks like it's on a loop. Now, right now, we're able to walk and fall in the idle state. So, obviously we need to speed it up a little faster. And then we need to only trigger it if we walk into a pit or whatever. So let's figure out how to stop it from looping. I think that might be a good first step. And then we can worry about... I'm gonna take player idle state. Okay, so let's go check out our entity defs and see if there's any looping interval. I want to say that this animations also takes in looping, but I'm not exactly sure. Animation. Yeah. Okay, so if we don't give a looping value, it defaults to true. So let's just set looping to false in our entity def so that it doesn't continue to loop. Here's our falling. Okay. Yeah, we'll say looping is turned off for this animation. So now it should play once and then stop. Well, it does not. Yeah, we don't seem to do anything with our looping. Oh, wait. Right there. So if not self-looping and times played greater than 0, then go ahead and return. So if when we update, if our looping is false and we've already played once, then go ahead and return. Otherwise, increment our frames. So yeah, we should be breaking out of this update loop instead of refreshing, but something's going wrong. Sorry guys, I'm in a bad, sad mood today. Let's just say return. Will it even compile there? If not, self.looping returned. Okay, it's still looping. Okay. I don't know why that's happening, but maybe the def loop here. Hey, Dan Garep. Hey, thank you for the raid. Hey, welcome in. I'm having a low energy day, but I appreciate the raid. What's going on? What were you working on? I think I've seen your channel before, but I don't think I've caught a stream of yours just yet. But thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. We are building a Zelda-like game, like a Link's Awakening type game, where you can cast magic. And right now I'm testing the falling animation, so that's why it looks like I'm falling. But we got these like spell casting, and we've got these geckos that we can work on, and then got a little like cabin you can walk inside of. Yeah, ignore me perpetually falling, but that's what we're working on right now. Okay, nice. Sweet. Yeah, I'll have to catch one of your streams here soon. I know I saw you go live, but my CPU on my main machine is broken, so I ordered a new part and I got here, but I need a new bracket to mount it, so I waited for that, and it was said it delivered, but it didn't, so it's been really frustrating trying to get that going. So I'm just streaming on my laptop, which is not, doesn't have all my full suite of Streamlabs and everything, but or the Stream Deck. So it's been a little frustrating, but we're still streaming. I try to stream every day, but yeah, it's been hard the past week without my main computer. It's really sad. Yeah, and then I freelance too, so I can't even edit videos on my main machine right now for money because I'm waiting for this freaking bracket. So yeah, frustrating, but I'm hoping it'll be fixed soon. But yeah, so like the idea here is like if we walk into, we have another sprite that's like a pit, a hole, and then if we walk in there, we trigger this animation to make us fall into the hole. Now we do need to speed it up a bit, and we need to prevent it from looping. So we've got a couple things to fix, and then the triggering needs to be fixed too. If we check out our NVDefs, we can come to our falling and say this interval should be a faster interval so that we fall a little faster. So now it does go a little faster. That's probably about the right speed. But it is still looping, which we need to fix. And then we need to trigger it only upon a, hole detection, whatever you want to call that. Now, we do have a looping condition to pass into the animations here, but for whatever reason, it's not quite working. We look at our animation. Yeah, it looks like we take in what we define as a dot looping field, or true if it's not provided, but we're providing a false. And then we break out of the animation update if we've played the animation once. And so maybe the move is we can print up, hey, no worries, Dan, I totally get it, thank you for the raid, I appreciate it, I totally get how it is. You know, as soon as you raid, you know, you're kind of exhausted from streaming, so I totally get it. Thanks for stopping in, I appreciate you. And thanks for the follow. I saw someone followed, I didn't get to see who it was. Why is it triggering even if it's not colliding? We're just testing it. We just made the animation last night, so we're triggering it just so that we can see it and make sure it's working. So this next step here is going to be to hopefully only, you know, to stop it from looping, and then we would need to add the correct triggering once we detect collision with a pit, and then we would need to deduct a hard point and then reset our player's position and maybe do the flashy red stuff. So we're working on that. I think I want to debug. I'm going to print up some info to the screen here. So we can try to print onto the screen what the current animation is for our player, and then we'll see if that times looped or whatever is printing on screen. Let's see. Okay, I don't mean to be printing left count. Thought. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got, yeah, it's counting times played. It says it's looping true. So we just need to make sure that's not, I don't know where that's getting overwritten, but we have looping false here. So it is, yeah, I don't know. It's getting overwritten. The looping value is getting overwritten somewhere. In our player idle state, we've got the animation. So like right here, you know, if we're idling, we're changing animation to that falling animation. But I don't see where we're changing that looping to get true for some reason. So like maybe I'm kind of curious if we can just say self.entity dot current animation dot looping gets false, and then we'll see if that is, you know, we don't want to just do it like that, but it's weird that looping is true here, because even when we manually reset it, the animations, character fall texture. How the hell is that value automatically changing? Are you talking about looping? Yeah, like I don't know why looping is just getting changed to true somewhere. Let's take a look at our, where would we want to see this? It's not our, so our animation class is just what updates and spits out the current frame, which is like the current quad of whatever sprite we're at. And that's what has the self looping. So I'm kind of curious if we just comment it out here and manually assign it to false, because I might have messed this part up. Like maybe we just say, you know what, looping is false. Let's see. And I need to do that. Okay, looping's false now. But we're not actually falling anymore because we're not animating. So NeoVim's skills are top notch. Hey, thank you. I've been programming a couple years, but my programming idols are like in Emacs. So I tried starting in Emacs, and I was very bad at it. So, uh, I went to Vim. I mean, I went from Emacs to like Sublime Text and then to NeoVim. Okay. So something's wrong with this assignment here, where we're doing our animation, looping. Okay, so wherever we're assigning the texture and the interval and the frames, yeah, that's exactly what we did. If we take a look at our entity defs, wherever we assign the frames, the interval, and the texture, we need to assign looping, which we are. Looping gets false. Okay. So then we're saying, okay, well, the animation class, that's dot looping gets whatever we pass in as looping, or true if it doesn't exist. You tried every popular one, never got to learn NeoVim, really want to learn the commands. Yeah, I like it because it's like we can go, if we wanted to change current frame, we can go substitute every current frame with next frame or whatever and do like a find and replace like that, which I think is cool. I'm still learning, all the cool stuff, but like I know if we want to change what's in the brackets there, we can change what's in the braces and then just type. So like we can hop into the parentheses and change all what's in there, with whatever. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm just, there's a big learning curve for all the cool stuff. But it is fun, and I like it. Like I work on some web development stuff too, so it's nice to be like in a web server and then just pop open Vim and feel like I'm home. So like it's nice because I'm like, oh, I'm not, I'm not limited by like the nano text editor or whatever that I don't like at all. But it's nice to feel strong if you only have Vim. So like that's pretty sweet. I don't get why this looping value is changing. Hey, sounds good, Chompy Choco. Chompy Choco. Oh, right. I don't get it. We must be doing something weird with the looping. The only thing I could think of is that I don't know actually. I have no idea. Let's see any time we might be saying looping. There's like we don't do it. Oh. Idle state. What? God damn it. Oh, looping. This is exactly where we're at. Okay, yeah. This is wrong. So I think if we go into the animations table and we go into the actual falling animation, then we should be able to say that animations dot looping gets false. Now let's see. Okay, so that does work. And now I don't get why it doesn't inherit the right looping value when we pass it through entity defs, because we should be able to say looping gets false here and have it work like that. So falling.looping gets false, that works, because if we go comment this out, then we loop. Okay. One thing I'm going to do is switch off. I've got, I believe in our main, we are kind of manually moving. No, where is it? Maybe... Conf, maybe? Nope. I'm looking for... Right now, if we run the game, it gets locked into this one place, and then we can't move it. And that was by design. What up, Chompy Choco? Yeah, just trying to get... So, like, I'm able to fix this, but, you know, we can turn looping off here, and then it works, and it doesn't loop. But we should be able to trigger this looping gets false when we initialize the animation. And that's not working. So I'm trying to, I'm just trying to see, I don't know what could be causing this. And then I'm looking at, I should have, a toggle where I'm like actually moving our window. And I'm not seeing where we do that. Window, maybe we can search for window. Whenever you try to delete an environment in VS Code, it deletes everything except Python. Shoot, man. Yeah, there's... I don't like weird... That's one reason I hate Windows. I feel like Windows does that kind of stuff more often than Mac. Where it just changes stuff up on you, and it just... There it is. In the play state, we've got a set position. Okay. So what I'm going to do is not set position here. Play state 133. I'm going to say lock screen position. Okay. Sweet. Now we can technically move this. Okay. So I was hoping that we could pop up console here and see. Okay, looping gets false, but I don't think it starts off that way. Let's see. Man, it happens so fast. Are we... Player... We want to go to our idle state, and we want to see... Okay. Yeah, you know, you see, and I'm with you. Like, I like Linux. I really do like Linux. It's just that when I was streaming on Linux, I just couldn't get good drivers for my graphics card, and we just were dropping frames all over the place. So I did most of my streaming on Linux until the past couple months. I've just been on PC, and I've been hating it. And then I got the Stream Deck, which doesn't have great Linux support, like at all. You can run a couple things with the button presses, but it's not like the Stream Deck on PC, and it's really nice on PC. But my PC's freaking broke too right now, so I don't know. We're on Mac, it's working. I just don't have my good microphone because I don't have any ports. I'm in dongle hell with Mac right now, so we got all the dingle dongles. hanging off. Okay, for whatever reason, if we turn this off, we should be initializing it to false. And I always forget, if we're at full screen, it doesn't work. So let's run it again. Yeah, looping true on character fault. We've got to be going through our animations and changing it somewhere, but anytime we do a search for looping, we don't see anything. It's like the only reference to looping that we're even using is this init and the update and then the actual value we give it. So it's gotta be, there's gotta be something in the animation class. Maybe I had this wrong, like, oh man. Hate list, Microsoft Windows, Apple, Arch. Wow. Yeah, I feel like you're a programmer. Because you got a little bit of hate for everything, right? Any environment you've used enough to hate. Yeah, I mean, I I was really liking my Debian distribution, but the graphics drivers, I just couldn't get good graphics drivers or whatever. My OBS just sucked at it. Yeah, I kind of wish Linux was a little better for streaming and or game stuff. But it is what it is. I don't know. I might try Fedora feels like home. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I too I haven't tried Fedora. I've tried a bunch. I've tried Mint, Manjaro, Ubuntu, Debian, Pop OS, but not Fedora. What is going on here? Why is looping getting set to true? Because if we say just assign it to dot looping, it well actually that works. But does that mean anything? Well, let's see. Actually, yeah, that seems to have worked. Well, one thing that's not right is like we're always facing down. Whenever we let go of any direction, we're facing down, and I don't know what that's about. Puppy? Never heard of Puppy. Core Linux? Yeah, I've never heard of that. Did we just crash? Ay, ay, ay. Gosh, it's been such a bad day today. I was liking Pop. I just, my computer wouldn't go to sleep or wake up with Pop OS. So like, or like, it would go to sleep, it just wouldn't wake up. So that was one thing I didn't like about it. But that was also on a 12-year-old Mac that I had Pop installed on. So I don't know if that was the issue. But I was on Pop for a couple months. I liked it. Okay, so it's hard for me to tell if you want. Let me go turn off our falling animation and see if we still have that bug where we. Yeah, let's not change our animation to falling here, and we'll say Okay. So we do, we shouldn't always face down. We face whatever our last direction is. So that looks right. So let's go back and put our looping. Nope, nope. Yeah, let's take off this or true, because maybe I was just totally wrong in that implementation. Okay, so if we take looping off, we don't face up there. So let's go and try to put our animation back on. Puppy was portable Linux, and I used Core and Debian for servers and stuff. Nice. By portable Linux, you mean like a USB stick that you carried around, or like a live USB or whatever they call it? I was actually considering doing that. I thought that was a cool idea because once I've configured my NeoVim like 5 times, and I just hate having to build it from scratch every time, and it really sucks. So like I was thinking about doing a boot stick like that or something too. But then with streaming, it's tough with streaming to get, I need my webcam and microphone and all that stuff. Okay, so we're gonna change animation to falling. Okay, it doesn't loop. But, but why does changing the animation to falling make us face downwards all the time? Okay, nice. Yeah, I've had Windows get corrupted too, and it sucks. Yeah, I at one point I was like really into looking into doing all the Clonezilla to like back up everything, and I can never I would always get it backed up, but anytime I tried to restore with it, I just couldn't do it. And then I've used like rsync and stuff, and that's worked for me, but yeah, I wanted to do a boot stick. Maybe I'll give it a shot again. I don't get why I'm just facing down now. If Ventoy, if you have a big USB stick. By big, you mean like 64 gigs or bigger? And then I've heard, okay, I don't know why. I don't know why we're defaulting to facing down after this animation. What the heck? I guess if we print up our current animation, we can get a little bit of info here. So I believe in our play state, we might be working on doing such things. No, not in our play state. Where is it? Yeah, current animation. It is in our play state. I guess I just didn't search great. Before we do that, do this and run it so we can see. So our current animation, it thinks we're in character fall still. Okay, so that makes sense. That does make sense. Because this, what we're looking at, is our first frame of character fall. So that is actually right. So whenever we let go, we're in character walk right here. And then when we let go, we're technically in idle state, and idle state is loading the change animation. So we might want to make a state for falling, or once character fall is done updating, we need to then, change it back to whatever the normal idle state is. Yeah. Okay, so that makes me feel better. That makes more sense. So we ultimately need to trigger this character fall animation upon a detection with a hole, which I can't even export a new hole right now because the tiled application I'm using to draw the tile maps, I don't have the .lua file for it because that is on my PC that is busted. I should have put it in the Git repo, and I did not. Ventoy is a boot menu that shows your ISO installers. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm curious about doing that because I do want. I think that would be cool to have my IDE configuration in NeoBim, just kind of saved somewhere and bootable is really nice. And then that paired with GitHub is just sweet because then you can just clone your repos and get working on whatever computer. I think that's really cool. Okay, so right now in our player idle state, we just have it where we're changing our animation. So we need to change this so that we would trigger a falling animation, right? So we can say, we check our X and Y position if we're colliding with a whole sprite, then, and I want to do something like Link's Awakening 2, where when you're colliding with the hole, it kind of pulls you in. Like you can escape its gravity. It doesn't automatically trigger you falling, but it kind of sucks you into the middle, and then if you're in the middle, then it triggers the animation. So even though our animation wasn't looping, it did set us back at frame 1. So I'm kind of thinking we either need to... What the heck just happened? How did it give me a thumbs up like that? Where did that come from? Is that an OBS thing? Sweet, Chompy Choco, thanks for hanging. If that website is like a project you're willing to share, you can dump the link in here, because I'm doing web dev stuff also, so I'm interested in what people are building and what stacks they're using to build stuff. But thanks for hanging, I appreciate it. I don't know where this thumbs up comes from. I don't know where, maybe it's an iOS thing. I have no idea. I've never seen that before. Using Streamlit, never heard of it, but I will look into it. I'm always interested in hearing what technologies people are using. Yeah, thanks for hanging. Okay. Yeah, we need to do... We either need to make sure that the first... Oh, yeah. We need to detect when the animation's done, right? So like if the animation has been played once before and we were in, so let's do something here where we'll just make a local variable called timer. And actually, I think timer's a global that we're using, so let's just call it fall timer, and we'll set it to 0, and we'll increment our fall timer here. And we'll just say, what just happened? We'll increment fall timer, and then if fall timer is greater than a certain amount of time, then we'll trigger our falling to be equal to true. And if we're falling, then we will change our animation to falling. So Let's do something like that and just try to trigger it like that, and then we'll worry about how we're going to flush the first frame there. So if our fall timer is greater than 3 seconds here, then we're going to change our animation to falling. And then I want to do something like if our entity's animation, if our entity's animations of falling has been played, it's called count. Isn't it called count? If we look at our animation class, we've got a times played. That's what it is. So if times played gets incremented at the end of every playing, so we're going to say if the times played is greater than or equal to 1, meaning we've played it once, then we're going to go ahead and change our animation back to idle. So if we have played our falling animation, then we're going to go back and set our, it's not our state, but it should be called like idle down or something. Actually, yeah, change state will change the animation, so that might be okay to do. So let's try this and see. Okay, fall timer is a global. Why did it hate that? Fall timer is a global. Oh. Local fall timer. Okay, let's just declare that out here then. Can we do that? Okay. Okay. So it waited 3 seconds to change the animation, right? So 1, 2, 3, fall. And then we crash here on state machine 49 for whatever reason. It's probably because idle down is not a state, idle down is the animation. So maybe it's just idle like that. Let's see, we trigger the fall, we still crash. Let me see where we do anything like swapping the state to idle. Entity idle, that's what it is, entity idle. So we're gonna go trigger falling, and then we're still crashing. Okay. So maybe instead of, yeah, let me see here. If we look at our player is an entity, and our entity has got a couple of different states, including an entity idle state. Yeah, that should, I don't get why we're crashing at that absurd error, or whatever that was. Okay, if animation's falling, time played 1, and if we take this off, it'll go back to the first frame, right? Yeah. So now we just fall whenever we stop moving. I guess the question is this falling animation first frame, or is it idle down first frame? Let's see. Character fall. Yep. Character walk. Now this is not the state. This is just the texture that it's loading. So it is still loading that character fall when we should be changing the animation and state. I'm kind of curious if we print up like what state our entity's in, if that might help us. Let's see. Let's try to do this. Print state. And the state is the player. Crap. I don't know if we actually have reference to the current state. do? Yeah, we just manually change it. So let's see, anytime we change state. Player idle, yeah, player idle. Oh, player idle, player idle. That's right. Okay, let's try it here. It's not entity idle, but it's player idle. Let's try that. Yes. Shit. Change state to player idle. That looks like it worked. Now I couldn't print up the info. That looks like it worked. So what we're doing is, yeah, let's print up the current animation, and hopefully it's not the player walk or player fall anymore right after we fall. I keep doing that, but what we want to do is this. And you know what? I got a better idea. We'll go into our play state, is it? We called it lock position, lock screen position. So let's do this where we give ourselves an X of 590. Cool. Let's do that, and then we will run the game not full screen, and now all we do is hold 2, and we should get the debugging. So character fall, character walk. Sweet. And then it only falls once, but you know, we could have it where we fall every 3 seconds, and that would be easy enough, where we can say in our player idle, maybe upon finishing our falling animation, we also reset our fall timer to be 3 seconds so that we can fall every 3 seconds. So we can try it. Sweet. Okay, well, that's not working. If fall timer is greater than 3, we reset fall timer. So let's print up fall timer and see why that's not working. It's a local variable, which is shit. Yeah, it's a local variable. So we might have to do that here. We don't even need this crap. We don't need inspect. There we go. Okay, we need to reset our fall timer to 0 is what it is. Not 3. And then we should fall every 3 seconds. Still no. What the heck, man? Okay, we trigger it. we reset it to 0, and then we go up, and then it's still in character walk. So what is going on there? If fall timer is greater than 3, we change our player's animation to falling. Oh, times played. Okay, we need to reset times played too then. So if we go and highlight we can reset times played to be equal to 0, so that also does it. Okay, so now we should fall every 3 seconds. There we go. Nice, and it should do it if we're walking regardless, no? Oh, it's different because we're in a different state. Because we're only doing that in the idle state, not the walk state. So this is good though. I mean, nice. And then ideally, you know, once we're done falling, it would trigger, you know, maybe we give it like a second of being dead before we respawn our player, and then make us flash red and take out some of our heart. So it's like we can, now that we've got him falling, you know, we need to work on triggering when to fall and then deducting heart and doing the damage flash upon finishing the animation, and then, you know, give us a respawn time or something, and a respawn location, which will be interesting because we have to kind of decide where to position after a fall, which depends like on the safeness of the area, you know. So that kind of gets interesting. I'm interested in doing that, but it's been a long day. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna make a git commit here, and we'll call it. We took out our falling sheet PNG. We changed it. I didn't think we changed this much junk. What did we change? Okay, so we added a falling animation. We changed to falling in the idle state, which is temporary. We're rendering... Wow. Did we really touch like 6 files like that? Git. Yeah, so we touched our nodes, that makes sense. Falling A sprite we touched, yes. Animation we touched. Dependencies we touched. What did we touch in dependencies, actually? Entity defs, player state, play state. Okay. Yeah, what did we touch in our dependencies? Oh, the character sheet import. Okay. And then we've got a empty space there at our fall texture, so we can go fix that real quick, and we'll go right here, character fall, and we'll just delete this space. Yeah? Okay, whatever. We got a blank space. We got a couple blank spaces, whatever. Oh, you know what? There is a utility I got to strip that, but I don't know if it's installed on this machine. Anyways, let's do a commit, and we'll say we added all animation to player idle, resetting every 3 seconds. Okay. Well, sweet. Let's see. Year End is making a video game. We've been rating him a lot recently. Maybe we see what Robotussin is up to. And Robitussin's maybe doing some.
Then it would start the animation process. So it would set the image and then animate it onto screen as
Pixel art stuff. That looks cool. Yeah, let's raid Robitussin.
That's cool.
Oh, it's just me now, but that's okay. And you know what? Alright, well, hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Be back tomorrow. And I will try to raid my buddy Tonics. Maybe he is